and discussed this very issue with him before unveiling the ark. So the curious question is, did this man go meet with the Pope? And we need to know that to really put a good shape onto this picture, because, well, perhaps the Pope said, don't do it, right? You can't do this, and therefore we'll give you all power. Now, I don't know, because like we're saying, the Templars found what could have been the Ark of the Covenant, or something leading to it, under the Temple Mount when they excavated under there, and then became the most powerful people. Well, if this Ethiopian church does actually house the Ark of the Covenant, then they would be in a very strong position. But he goes on to say that I am deeply disappointed that the Italian media misquoted me and disseminated false information about me unveiling the Ark of the Covenant to the world. It is a fabrication, disinformation. Now, it is believed that the Ark was brought to Ethiopia and was held there by the Falashas, or the Black Jews of Ethiopia. And as we discussed before, even Graham Hancock has a fantastic book on that, The Sign and the Seal. I'd highly recommend it. But let's just clarify, though, that the Patriarch Abun Paulos did go on to say, I would like to confirm once again that the Ark of the Covenant and the sacred tablets containing the Ten Commandments that God delivered to Moses are in Ethiopia. So they have replicas of the Ark in more than 50,000 churches in the Horn of Africa. And if you read Graham Hancock's book on this subject, you'll find that they bring them out and they do ceremony with them. Very curious things going on with that. So that is another thing to keep an eye on. Very interesting whether or not that'll come back up or not. So this all connects with Alaska. Because what we're finding now is Sarah Palin quits her job to go to a higher calling, whatever that might be. I hope this doesn't destroy my ideas on the Stargate characters, because she sort of fit right into that whole thing. But yes, Sarah Palin, head of our governor of Alaska, who is running the heart facility, basically. Well, I mean, not really, but has stepped down. Okay, so retractions, let's see, what else? Obama, the idea of him not being an American citizen. He definitely, there was rumor going around saying that people had retained or got the Occidental College transcripts to say Obama was not an American citizen. These have been proven to be a fraud, so, or at least someone is saying that they are a fraud. Others are still passing them around as if it's true. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Unless it's an interesting psyop just to make others get into a frame of denial on this whole subject. But because we still have people like Alan Keyes saying things like this.
Obama is a radical communist. The man is an abomination. So I'm not even sure he's president of the United States. No, that's not a laughing matter. Who is not qualified under the Constitution. We're in the midst of the greatest crisis this nation has ever seen.
This thing's not going away. It's not going to end. So that is part of the plan, and I want you ahead of the scheme. I want you to know what's going down so that you can then react properly. That's what it's all about, is proper reaction to these events, to the ideas that they're putting in front of us, to the foment of our warfare. You know, they tell you you can't buy guns, so that you'll go out and buy a bunch of guns. They want you ready to shoot each other. They want you thinking about the end of the world. They want you ready for anything. And they are going to try and attack you on many levels. I mean, you know, is Obama really trying to make a race war by, I mean, I hope this doesn't sound racist because I'm not racist, but I'm cultural and I understand how it goes. You know, Obama's going to outlaw Cools. He's going to outlaw Swisher Sweets. He's going to outlaw Newports. Okay, this is going to strike the black community. This is going to, you know, cause this weird discordant nature there where we love this man, the president, but he took away our Newports. I mean, that's going to really, you know, put a schism in the mind of the men. And that's what it's all about. That's what this whole thing is set up to do, is just to cause schisms in ourselves so that we will then fight each other. They are not doing the fighting. So this is where we get why I do what I do. This is the whole reason, the whole purpose of what I'm doing. So I did talk about the 4th of July, and I did try to highlight it as a potential date. It's interesting what some people hear because, what I'm stating that could occur is the idea of the culmination of this war. This doesn't mean that the 4th of July was going to be a day that the earth exploded or anything like that. It was a day where a gesture was made that would foment warfare. So it would be a start. Just like, 9/11 was an event that was meant to be such a startling event. The next few have been more subtle, and then we'll have to see how it plays out, but what we try to watch is the overall agenda and then the symbolic nature of it all. But I'm not trying to highlight an enemy date. I'm not trying to highlight an enemy at all. I am trying to show us that we live in a bit of a delusion and that things are a bit stranger than they may appear. So that is why I do what I do. So a few other interesting stories going along with Facebook. Now, it was on her Facebook account that Sarah Palin announced that she had this feeling for a higher calling. And I had remembered that just recently there was another story in The Independent about Facebook launching tests to help simplify its privacy settings, and how this had become a big issue because their simpler privacy settings would actually allow more people to see your private data. Now, of course, I believe Facebook and all of these others are just open databasing sources for everyone to just do Big Brother's work for them. I mean, of course, I am a member on all of them, but I don't care, I go to Disney, I give them my fingerprint, they take my facial recognition, whatever, I'm here, I'm now, I'm talking, and so it doesn't matter to me, and I'm not going to hide from all of this. That's the feeling they want you to feel, because that's the victim mentality that they want you to express. But that's not saying that you should just go and, get your national ID card. So it's the levels that you're willing to go on these whole things and the sense of humor that you keep up about it. So this is very important. So we have Facebook launching these tests to simplify their privacy settings, and then at the same time, just 3 days later, we find that the head of MI6, Sir John Sars, has his personal data on Facebook placed there by his wife. And they're even discussing, he wears a Speedo swimsuit. That's not a secret. So there's a lot of personal pictures and information, what the house looks like, and things the head of England's intelligence agency has been giving out through his wife. Well, I'm sure she's probably hating life right about now, because they're even talking about Xing him as the new head. He was just placed in there, and now they're talking about getting rid of him for negligence because, what kind of security can we believe in if our MR6 chief is giving out all of his information? But at the same time, they're saying it's going to cost a lot of money for them to move the family, to give extra protection to the children, and things of this nature. Facebook privacy issues coming up. So, just curious things about how it's all going through and how it's going forth. I do have a Facebook, and there's even a Freeman Perspective group out there made by my good friend Laura, who I did not even know about any of these things. But I have been signed up to Facebook, but I hardly ever sign into Facebook. That's just the way it is. It takes me a lot of time. I get a lot of great mail, a lot of interesting stuff, and I'm sorry, you guys, that I don't respond more. I really try. Sometimes they just float by, and then I don't get back to them. I have probably 2,000, maybe more, emails checked for response, and it's just so difficult. I don't know why. I think I'll have to open up an email section on the radio show where I can just answer through words, because a lot of the questions are difficult to answer without a lot of back data, and a lot of times if I feel like the information's already there on my website, that you should just go and investigate a little bit more. Check out what I've got to say. This is, in October I'll be doing this for 5 years. Can you believe that? This is crazy to me. I can't believe it. But so a lot of times when I read information, I feel like the information's already been put out there. I just hope that you will go and listen to the shows, go back to Freeman TV, check out the archives, and get an idea of what I'm talking about.